What's up, friends, and welcome back to my channel. So in the world of health and wellness technology, there are a lot of questionable products on the market, and some of them are scams. Now, I have talked a little bit about this on my channel, but I think it's worth doing more of a deep dive to kind of paint you a picture of how I look at products, what I do, how I research them before I hit buy, and hopefully in this video you will learn some of these tricks so that you can be a more conscious consumer and actually make the best purchase with your money. But first, if you're new here, welcome. My mission is to help you achieve success without sacrificing your health or happiness. I do product reviews weekly, so if you're into this, click that subscribe button and join the Type A tribe. So as a product reviewer, especially on something like YouTube, I really do my best. I feel like it's my obligation to fully vet all of the products that I test out before a review. But don't get me wrong, I have definitely been duped by some bogus products and even scams whose too good to be true claims are just that. And so there is a reason why I always encourage people before they hit buy on anything to really read the fine print, to know what the claims the company is making and how valid are these claims before you go ahead and find that you've wasted your money on something that just doesn't work. So how do you actually become a more conscious consumer? We all know how those algorithms work. You look at one product and then all of a sudden 70 other companies are sending you these ads with the same exact kind of product or similar claims. So here are a couple of the best practices I follow, and hopefully these are some tips that you guys can use to become more conscious consumers yourself and really safeguard your money from all those scams. So number one, I'm really taking a hard look at the product claims. If they're selling this as a cure-all for every ailment known to mankind, I'd probably question that. But if the claims are much more specific and especially quantifiable in a given range of time, like X product will help improve your HRV or Y product will increase your deep sleep by 10%, then I start to entertain this product a little bit more and dive into my second step. And that, of course, is company history. I like to see how long has a company been around. Have they been working on a prototype or research for 5 to 10 years? Or are they just a pop-up that is just capitalizing on a specific fad? So general rule of thumb, the longer the company has been around, the more time, energy, money, resources they are putting into research and development, the more likely I am to trust that company and the product that they are selling. So after I have looked at the product claims and the company history, then we move on to a little bit more scientific data. Are there any scientific, third-party, peer-reviewed studies looking into the claims that the company is making about this product, and what are those clinical trial data results? So obviously that's a lot, but let's break it down a little bit more into bite-sized pieces. So I go to the science or the About Us page. I really look for any of this scientific data to validate these claims. And most importantly, I will look and read through their clinical trials. And one of the things I really look for in the clinical trials is a large pool of people that they've been testing this on. So when it comes to the size of clinical trials, obviously I am looking for the biggest clinical trial possible, because the more data there is, the larger and more diverse a pool of people they're testing it on, the better the chance we're actually going to be able to trust some of these quantifiable results. Definitely use your discretion as a consumer. If they're only testing a product on lab rats or a pool of 3 people, that's kind of where you have to start making some questions along the way of the validity and the efficacy of these kind of products. Diving deeper down this rabbit hole, it's important to look at the financial incentives of the people writing the research paper. Believe it or not, sometimes people or companies will actually pay to get their clinical trials published, which just sounds very morally unsound to me, but I guess that's just kind of the nature of the industry. So taking that into account, what can you do? And to really figure this out, all you have to do is scroll to the very bottom of most clinical studies, and you will see there is a financial incentive disclosure. They have to do this. And this will give you insight into whether there was a monetary incentive by the researchers or not. Now, one of the most notorious industries right now in the health and wellness space that I have certainly not always gotten what I paid for is supplements. And so I am extremely careful with where I source my supplements from. And so when it comes to things like nootropics or adaptogens, there's like a million things out there, but I do have a couple of very credible sources. And I'll link those in the show notes below. These companies actually do third-party lab tests on all of their ingredients, and they are open and disclose where every single ingredient came from and the percentage within each supplement you're getting. You can then look at the certificate of analysis or the COA on their website to ensure that you're getting the highest quality supplement and ingredients. So yeah, you might not be able to find these on Amazon or necessarily get them for the cheapest price out there, but you do get what you pay for. And in this case, it sometimes isn't a big difference, but the quality of the stuff that you're getting for does make a difference. So always be mindful of that. And the same thing applies for the basic ingredients or the materials they're using for these products or supplements themselves. I like to see where their ingredients are sourced from. Are they happening here in the United States or in Canada or in a place that is really strict with their good manufacturing policies? Or do they not even tell you? And in that case, I would probably email the company and ask them for this information. From there, you're then empowered to assess the quality of these ingredients and make that decision for yourself. And then finally, we come to what I like to call my 5 to 10 year rule. And by that, I mean that a company can come out with a new product, and even though the product itself is new, the technology and science behind the product isn't new. And so a great example of this would be something like red light therapy. Red light treatment has been used in the skincare industry for well over a decade. So even though the application itself maybe has changed, there's also a good chance that the technology has gotten a lot better. So that's really what I'm looking for when it comes to how long has the science and technology really been around. And then I would say there's probably 2 other big factors that you should look into before you hit buy. One of them is, what are your individual expectations of this product? And do you have a way to measure them? If it says it's gonna improve your HRV, how will you measure that? Or if it says it's gonna improve your deep sleep, what tools are you using to be able to quantify that data? So obviously this is going to be a little different for every company. There are some things that are really hard to quantify. For instance, if a nootropics company says it will improve your mood and focus, it's really hard to quantify your neurotransmitters. There's virtually no at-home test that you can do to see a change in those levels. And so in situations like that, it is really hard. And I struggle with this myself, but the way I've kind of gotten around it is, number one, I isolate variables so I can really test things for a period of time and then compare them to how I feel both on and off the supplement. And I create a rubric for myself. I have a checklist of different anecdotal measurements I look for, and I go through them when I'm testing out a supplement. And I'll get into this in some future videos about things being quantifiable or not, but I think in general, if you can quantify it, great. If you can't, there are other ways around it, and you just kind of sometimes have to get a little bit creative on that front, or see what other people are doing in the space to kind of figure out if something's working. Just make sure they're not being paid to say it. And of course, return policy. So I've touched a little bit on this in past videos, but I think that if a company really believes in their product and they stand by what they are claiming, they should offer a 30-day money-back guaranteed, no questions asked. But if they don't, or they charge you some crazy restocking fee just for opening up the package, I probably wouldn't get involved, but maybe that's just me. And as a final word, I typically turn down 90% of the products that companies ask me to review because either A, the science or data is not there to back them up, or B, I think the company is just capitalizing on a fad or looking for free publicity. And I will say the biggest offenders for me so far have been massage guns and the CBD industry. Now, that's not to say that every single company within those industries are doing something wrong. It's just to say, be aware. Be a smarter consumer, know where your money is going. And in order to do that, you sometimes have to just do a little bit of research. And if you don't want to do the research, well, hey, that's what YouTube is for. And that is what I have based my channel on, is sharing the things that I really think are going to be valuable for this audience. And I really hold myself to a very high bar, because if I'm not gonna buy the product, or I don't think it's gonna be of value, I'm probably not gonna talk about it. I'm tired of wasting my money, and I certainly don't want you guys to waste yours. At the end of the day, yes, you can get money back, but you can't get your time back. And I think that is the most important thing too. So spend a little bit of extra time up front just doing the basics on your research, so you don't have to spend the extra time mailing back things that are just not working. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you learned something, if you like this video, please make sure to give it a big thumbs up. Let me know if you want to see more content like this. I just wanted to kind of share some of my thoughts and things that are really relevant to me right now. And if you like this kind of content, I'm happy to put out more videos like it. Leave a comment below, let me know what you're into. And yeah, I look forward to hearing from you guys either on my website at Katie Type A, or you can always hit me up on my DM at Katie Type A. And until then, I can't wait to catch you on the next one.